Your team is doing really well. You are winning 3 points week after week. The gap at the top is getting wider. But sometimes there are nights when your team truly rewards your loyalty as a fan. Nights where your team makes your extra attention completely worth it. They show you that they truly appreciate your support. Our game against Atletico Madrid was one such night. We scored 4 goals in a span of 13 minutes. We put 4 goals past a team that is known for their defensive solidarity. We put 4 past a whose manager, some believe, has influenced Arteta's philosophy. We announced ourselves to Europe in style. We started very strong. I was honestly a little surprised that Atletico Madrid didn't employ a mid-block. Cut off the supply from Rice and Zubimendi. I thought that was the obvious thing to do considering how well teams have done it in the recent past and prevented us from attacking efficiently. That slight extra bit of freedom that our midfielders had meant we got ourselves into some decent goal scoring positions early in the game. We started Miles Lewis Kelly and Martinelli instead of Trossard and Calafiori. Again, a little bit surprising because Atletico Madrid are known to defend deep and Trossard usually does better than Martinelli against teams that defend deep. We were all over Madrid for the first 20 minutes of the match. And like every other Arsenal match this season, the biggest threat to the opposition was Bukayo Saka. And I could notice that Eze and Saka were making a greater effort to understand each other. I noticed that Eze made a perfectly weighted through ball to Bukayo Saka. I also noticed that he tried to do that about 2-3 times in the match. But again, there was one situation where Eze could have played a pass to Bukayo Saka. He chose to shoot instead. The ball was deflected onto the post and came back to Rice, who couldn't make the most of it. After about 20 minutes into the match, it seemed like Madrid composed themselves and they put together a few passes. But except one defensive blunder from David Raya and a decent amount of possession, Atletico Madrid had nothing to show for it. They had 2 shots, none were on target. But there was one incident in the 48th minute of the match where Julian Alvarez set himself up for a shot, and that was a thing of beauty, man. Had it gone in, it would have been one of the best goals of the season. And it does take something very, very special like that to get past this Arsenal defense. Either that or a defensive blunder. But Martin Zubimendi got a yellow card. And you know what that means? Take this with a pinch of salt, but what it means is Martin Zubimendi will miss the next crucial encounter against Slavia Praha. This was a highly irresponsible thing to do by one of the best central defensive midfielders in the world. How are we supposed to line up without him against Slavia Praha? Slavia Praha are second in their domestic league, right behind Sparta Praha, and they are behind by just 1 point. They have scored 22 goals, and it scares me that we will be going into this game without our preferred central defensive midfielder. Slavia Praha were established as a club more than 132 years back. They have gotten into the quarter-finals of the European Champions League. And you know how they did that? By dominating teams in the group stages. And that is exactly what they're going to do to us when they realize that we are going into the game without Martin Zubimendi. The Bible speaks volumes about forgiveness, and I hope Slavia Praha have it in their hearts to go easy on us. We started even stronger in the second half. Weirdly enough, I thought the game against Fulham was a little bit more difficult than the game against Atletico Madrid. There was a little bit of nervousness because I was thinking, where will the goal come from? Whereas against Atletico Madrid, I knew the goal was coming. And in the 56th minute of the match, like any other minute before, like any other match, like any other perfect delivery that Rice made into the box, like every other perfect run and finish by Gabriel opened our account for the night. The 15 minutes that followed after that was the worst possible trip Atletico Madrid could have had. Everything that could go wrong went wrong in those 15 minutes. Miles Lewis Kelly made a brilliant run into the box and then fed Martinelli, who made an outstanding Henry-esque finish. Martinelli again caused some damage when Zubimendi fed him. He made a super ball into the box An incomplete shot by Eze meant the ball went to Gyökeres, and luckily it got a deflection and Gyökeres was on the score sheet. Gyökeres immediately got his second goal after some fantastic work by Gabriel. I am so glad to see that Gyökeres' name is on the score sheet. Something has to get this guy up and running, man. You know what? I'll be happy with even taking one goal every 2 games for Gyökeres, but it cannot be a goal drought. A striker who is on a goal drought would be very, very low on confidence, and it means he will not be ready if and when chances are presented. Arsenal made 5 substitutions after that. Surprisingly, Bukayo and Martinelli weren't the ones substituted. Merino, Mosquera, Norgard, Waneri, and Ben White were the ones that were brought on. This is such a flex, man, that these are the 5 people that are coming on. At the point at which they came on, they are at least as strong as the 5 guys that they replaced from the starting 11. So overall, that is 9 points from 3 Champions Leagues. We sit third on the table because of goal difference. And we are the one amongst the 2 teams that have conceded no goals in the Champions League so far. The other team is Inter Milan. Ironically, they conceded 5 goals in the final. The team that's sitting on top is PSG after their 7-2 demolition of Bayer Leverkusen, who finished second last season. Coincidentally, this time around they don't have Granit Xhaka. We now are going to face Crystal Palace in the Premier League on Saturday. Everything is going well right now, but I cannot wait to see how much more sting this team would have once we have a captain back.